Well, dirty tactics are in play right now. But the Democrats might have just found their key piece, possibly winning the 2024 election. In the attack against Republicans, they had two words that has resonated throughout social media, throughout mainstream media, throughout all platforms possible. And those two words are, they're weird. That's it. They're weird. And weirdly enough, no pun intended, it's working. Because the Republicans, the GOP, they're freaking out. They're going like, we're weird? How is this possible? How are we weird? We're not weird. We're Christian nationalists. We're among the gods. But at the same time, it makes a lot of sense. Think about it this way. They say that they are the party of justice, party of law and order, and yet they have allowed their presidential allowed a 34-time convicted felon be at the top of the ticket. Of course, let's talk about the fraud trial that had happened in New York. So there you go. They also claim to be the party of family values. And yet you have people, you have Republicans floundering over the Trump during the trial. And for one example, Lauren Boebert, yes, I'm still calling her that, Lauren Boebert of Colorado, decided to attend the Trump trial instead of helping her own son, who was dealing with some criminal charges of his own. And this is the same son who had allegedly impregnated an underage girl. Now, I find that it makes a lot of sense. Because now we're seeing how weird it all is. And just for the record, Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance had just recently gone on about how one certain drug caused his mother's drug addiction, and blamed it on the Democratic presidential candidate and current Vice President Kamala Harris, saying that it was her that caused all the drugs and her that has caused the weakening of the Border Patrol, and opening the floodgates to allow immigrants to come in. Now, there's something interesting about that. His mother did have a drug addiction, but she has been 10 years sober from those drugs. So you're talking about 2014. Kamala Harris didn't come onto the scene until 2017 when she was a senator. And before that, she was a public attorney. And now she's coming onto the spotlight in 2024 as the replacement to current President Joe Biden on top of the Democratic ticket. Doesn't that seem a little weird? Why would J.D. Vance blame Kamala Harris for something that happened way before she was even a registered item in the nation? If that makes any sense to you, let me know. Not to mention that, let's go back to the Trump shooting, for example, and how Thomas Crooks, the one who shot Donald Trump at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, you have conservatives, you have right-wingers who are saying that this was all on the Democrats because they said we need to put a target on Trump. And yet the one who did it is a registered Republican. Now people are going like, well, just because he's a registered Republican doesn't mean anything. It does. All right, you can't go back on, if you're a registered Republican, you're a Republican. cannot say you're a registered Republican and then say you're a Democrat. You're either one or the other. You can't be both. All right, that's common sense. But of course, this is also the party who doesn't believe in common sense. This is a party who believes that Trump is the God King. This is one person who said this is one party who says that Trump is the next Jesus Christ. And if any of this makes sense to me, let me know in the comments below, okay? But the thing is, the GOP is very weird. And this is what's hurting them in the polls. The only other poll is the Rasmussen one, but that's an outlier. So in other words, yeah, the GOP is weird. And the GOP is freaking out because they've been called out for being weird. But here's the thing. It's okay to be weird, all right? I'm weird. If you ever looked at my pinned, my profile pic on X or Twitter, you see how weird I was. I can't do it anymore, but you know what I mean. If you've ever looked there. The thing is, it's okay to be weird. If you acknowledge that you're weird, fine. Then you're acknowledging that you're weird, and then we can move on. But these people are not saying that they want to be weird. They just want to be right. And again, yeah, it's okay to be weird, and it's okay to be right. But just saying that I don't want to be weird, it's okay. That's not, well, for the most part, it's not weird, it's unique. But when they're acting out like this, yeah, it's weird. It's kind of weird how it all works out, though.